All right, let's talk about Avalanche. It's a blockchain that came onto the scene with a pretty bold promise to be way faster, way cheaper, and way more scalable than the older guys. So let's dig in and see what makes it tick. But before we get into the tech, let's start with a question you've probably asked yourself if you've ever used an older blockchain. Why is this so slow and so expensive? That feeling, that frustration, is the exact problem that a new wave of platforms like Avalanche was built from the ground up to solve. And that problem has a name. We can call it the blockchain bottleneck. Just picture a single-lane highway trying to handle an entire city's rush hour traffic. You know exactly what's going to happen. Absolute gridlock. And it's a vicious cycle, right? More people jump on the network, which creates more traffic, which causes massive congestion. That slows everything down to a crawl. And when everyone's fighting for that limited space on the highway, the tolls, what we call gas fees, they just skyrocket. It's not just annoying. It's a huge roadblock to crypto actually being used by everyone. So what do you do about a massive traffic jam? Well, you don't just tell the cars to drive faster, you build more roads. And that, in a nutshell, is the core idea behind Avalanche. It was designed to completely bypass these old problems. So what is it exactly? Avalanche is what's known as a Layer 1 blockchain. That just means it's the fundamental base layer, like Bitcoin or Ethereum. But its main purpose is to be the perfect playground for building decentralized apps, or DApps, without all the headaches and crazy high fees we've come to expect. And when you put them side by side, the difference is just night and day. Where old chains are slow, Avalanche is lightning fast. Where they get incredibly expensive, Avalanche stays low cost. Where they just can't handle a ton of users, Avalanche is built to scale up massively. This isn't just a minor improvement. It's a whole new way of thinking about how a blockchain should work. Okay, so that all sounds great, but how does Avalanche actually pull it off? Well, the secret sauce isn't one little trick. It's a complete redesign of the network's architecture built around what they call a three-chain powerhouse. Remember that single-lane highway we talked about? Avalanche's solution was to build 3 separate specialized highways, all running in parallel. Each one has a very specific job to do so they don't get in each other's way. This division of labor is the key to its incredible efficiency. Let's break down each one. First up, you've got the X chain, which stands for Exchange Chain. Its one and only job is to handle the creation and trading of digital assets. Think of it as the express lane, just for sending and receiving tokens. Because it's so focused, it's insanely fast. Then you have the C chain, or the contract chain. This is the engine room. This is where all the smart contracts and dApps live. Everything from DeFi platforms to Web3 games. And here's the really smart part. It's fully compatible with Ethereum's tools. That makes it super easy for developers to just pack up their apps and move them over to a much faster and cheaper platform. And finally, there's the P chain, the platform chain. This is kind of like the air traffic controller. It coordinates all the network validators, the computers that help secure the network by staking their AVAX tokens. But its real killer feature is something called subnets. This lets any project build its own custom private blockchain that still connects back to Avalanche. It's like giving them their very own high-speed highway. That is a massive deal for scalability. So let's recap real quick. The X chain is for assets, the C chain is for apps, and the P chain is for coordinating the whole network and creating custom blockchains. By giving each chain a specific job, the whole system becomes incredibly organized, super fast, and ready to scale. And what does all this fancy architecture actually get you? Well, how about pure speed? When you make a transaction on Avalanche, it's fully confirmed and permanent, or finalized, in less than 2 seconds. On a lot of other networks, you could be waiting for several minutes for that same level of security. This design also means it can handle a huge amount of traffic. We're talking about a capacity of thousands of transactions every single second. Now that's the kind of scale you need if you want to support global apps with millions of users without the whole thing grinding to a halt. Okay, so that's the how, this clever 3-chain system that's built for speed. But what can you actually do on Avalanche? Let's take a look at the vibrant ecosystem that this technology makes possible. The Avalanche ecosystem is really booming in a few key areas. You've got decentralized finance, or DeFi, which just thrives on low fees that make trading and lending affordable. NFTs and gaming are a perfect match because you need those fast, cheap transactions for a good user experience. And of course, those custom subnets are a game changer for big projects that need their own dedicated horsepower. And the fuel that powers this whole machine is the native token, AVAX. It's what you use to pay for those small network fees, it's what you stake to help secure the network, and it gives you a voice in how the platform evolves over time. It's the lifeblood of the entire ecosystem. But hey, let's be real. No project is without its challenges. To get the full picture, we have to look at the road ahead and be honest about the hurdles. So in this last section, let's explore the risks that Avalanche is facing. The biggest challenge, without a doubt, is the insane level of competition out there. Avalanche isn't just up against giants like Ethereum, it's also competing with a whole host of other high-speed blockchains. Its success really comes down to attracting the best developers. And while that three-chain system is a huge strength, it can also be a little complex for newcomers to wrap their heads around. Now, if you are curious and want to check it out for yourself, getting started is pretty straightforward. You typically start by buying some AVAX on a crypto exchange, then moving it over to a secure personal wallet. From there, you can connect to the world of Avalanche dApps and really feel that speed and low cost for yourself. This quote really says it all. It perfectly captures the vision here. Avalanche isn't just trying to be another fast blockchain. It's trying to prove that this technology can finally grow up, move past its early issues, and become something that's practical, efficient, and easy enough for literally anyone to use. And that leaves us with one big final question. By splitting up the workload with this multi-chain approach, Avalanche has created a really powerful model for performance and scale. So could this be the design, the key, that finally unlocks the door and brings Web3 from a niche hobby into a mainstream reality? I guess only time will tell. Thanks for tuning in.